Okay, we're going to start this off by me patting my own head because my hair is crazy.
Because you just got your hair cut. It's very cute.
Thank you. Jess Hawker hair here in Qualicum is, I didn't think I'd find somebody who was as good as our lovely Briley, but Jess and I have, kind of connected. And even today she was like, hey, I want to do it this way. Okay. She's really awesome.
Good.
Yes.
I haven't found anybody yet, but also I haven't looked. And also I just want to put my hair in a ponytail until we get air conditioning. I have got to have my hair in a ponytail till this summer is over.
It's not that hot.
It's not that hot today. It's not that hot today. No, it's actually fine today. But here's the thing, like this virus I picked, what?
Stop. Let's start by introducing ourselves.
This is a great idea. Hi, welcome to Happy Hour with Ruth and
Roxy. Yes. And so, yes, so clearly it's been a while because we forgot how to, we never know how to do this. You guys know that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just setting my alarm before I interrupt you one more freaking time. I'm making sourdough and I will have to step away.
Yes.
But anyway.
We can figure that out.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been having these, it's about 22 degrees outside, which it's very lovely out there. But then I'll just be doing something and suddenly a full body sweat comes over me. And I'm like, okay, I am long past menopause. That is not what this is. I also don't have a fever, I don't think. I'm not, 100%. But I'm like,
I know you go through menopause, but like, does that ever stop? Like the hot flashes? We're going to have to go and research this.
Yeah. I would say for me, they mostly have, and I'm definitely fighting a bug. So is that part of it? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, the hair has to go. Where's the hair? It has to just get off me. Everything has to get off me.
Life is very hard for you.
You thank you. It's about time somebody empathized with that. I appreciate it.
I think last time I said that to you, you punched me.
Probably.
Yeah. But it wasn't about this. It was about some other random thing, like, bathroom shower or something.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, we're back after an unexpected hiatus, and we're happy to be back. But it was Roxy's family had a hard time, and so we're grateful for people's patience. That we didn't put up an episode and that kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, so many of you have been so wonderful. And for anybody who doesn't know, my niece, my sister's son's wife, passed away very suddenly and unexpectedly a couple of weeks ago. And it was just a horrific time for everyone, as you can imagine. They have two small kids, two 8-year-old twins, and it's been devastating for them. Yeah. And living in BC, I know her more virtually than I do in reality, but he's my nephew. I love my sister, and the family is just devastated, and so we are all devastated. And watching young people deal with something like this.
Yeah.
And this is for us the third death this year. Like 2026 is just not a great year so far. But the first one was expected, an elderly person with dementia, somebody we love dearly, but it was expected. The second one, also an elderly person, not expected, someone we love dearly, and but still it was a good death. And this one though was like a young person, unexpected. We love her dearly, and we did not. No one saw this coming. So
no, and it's really hard. And our love goes out to Connie and the whole family. And you could tell from the people. I mean, there was a GoFundMe to help with some of the and people were really generous. And it's one of those where it was like, you guys were all busy, but I could see the people engaging and sending their condolences. And sometimes, and I've never had to deal with this kind of tragedy, and I can't even imagine. But when my dad passed away, it was one of those, that kind of thing really matters, and you forget sometimes when you're the one saying I'm so sorry. You think, what can I say? But you know what, just reaching out and saying I'm thinking about you, it really matters. And I think we forget it when we're the ones giving condolences. You think, oh my God, it sounds so trite. And the fact that you took the time to do it, or you took the time, and we'll put up the GoFundMe again, because it's pretty hard for a young family to,
Well, and now
get by.
now everyone is in this stage of, okay, the week in the hospital is over, the funeral week is over, the memorial week is over. Now we get back to normal. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's
so
just
sometimes
right.
I think this time can be just as hard in a different way, right?
Oh my
Because
goodness, yeah. Yeah.
this is reality now, so it's hard. And I, you know, again, like you say, I just want to thank everyone so much that the fact that people recognize that kind of loss
Yeah.
and are willing to engage with you, and just, and like you say, you don't, it, the words themselves don't matter as much as just the being there and recognizing the
Well,
awfulness that it is. And we're in awfulness together. It's not awfulness
no,
apart, you
but
know?
and that's just it. And I think it goes back to that sort of the walking with someone, right?
Hmm.
It's you
Yeah.
can't take it away, you can't fix it,
No.
but for them to know that you're beside them
Yeah.
for comfort and
Yeah.
support. And I think sometimes in this world that can feel so disconnected, I think we get reminded of the innate goodness of humans, right? People that reach
Yes.
out and that do
Yes.
things. And
Yeah.
and I think if there's a silver lining, and hard to find a silver lining in
Yeah.
this, is to understand that with all the stuff in the world, the basic humanity and caring and compassion of people, the people are okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those, we're still going to take care of each other.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that came through. So like the funeral service was so lovely and
Yeah.
so full of joy at the person that she was.
Yeah.
And
Like a
seeing,
true celebration of her,
oh, it
right?
really, really was. Yeah. It was beautiful and heartbreaking,
Yeah.
and having people be there to just engage in that, and if they didn't know her that well, to get to know her a little bit better, and to just share that sorrow was just so
Yeah.
hard. And my sister kept saying it over and over again. She said, "Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here."
Yeah.
That's what she
It's
needed. She
important.
needed,
Yeah.
well, and it's there's a certain honoring of the person
Mm.
who's gone, right? Is to say, like, you and everything you represent, everything that you hold dear was worth me
Yeah.
giving up a week of work or whatever. Because what's that? A week of
Right.
at home, what's that in comparison? It's nothing, right?
Right.
And
Right.
yet it's also not nothing. But
No,
you
but that's
have
just
to,
it.
that, like, you have to do that. You just,
Yeah.
that's the way I see it, is you just have to. And my daughters
Because
in
their
law,
needs are, but and the needs of those left behind, because in 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 my experience, and again, never gone through this, but it's for the people who are still here that you're
that's
showing,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you could go into the woods and honor somebody, your
Yep.
own private connection, and
Yep.
and things like that. But the other thing is, you want to be there to publicly show that, because that's a very human thing. You
Yep.
want to share
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of this human,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the other thing is like, it's for all of us and those left behind. Is
Yep.
you're there to just be there, and that's just it. You don't even have to have any wise words. Just be in
No.
there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our daughters came along, and
That's awesome.
and again, that's a challenge for young people working, raising families, and all that,
Yeah.
to sort of pick up and go. And for them, it was like, oh, this is my cousin. I'm going. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going. I have to go. And
Well,
they identify because that's their age, right?
yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
nobody that age expects to suddenly have a catastrophic illness occur to them, you know?
Yeah. No, and that's just it. And I think it's beautiful. I also think it's incredibly brave of Andrea and Levi to have brought their two children, right? Which and I think was probably good for Kendra's kids, right? Like, there were kids to
Yes.
engage with, play with, and stuff. But the other
Okay.
thing is like, you pull all of that. You know what I mean? It's like, we're going to get on a plane and go with these two kids. I mean,
Mhm.
some of it for reality, because you're already there, you're going, so it's
Mhm.
not like they can say, "Mom, can you mind?" Right? Can you take care of the kids? But the other part is like, that didn't stop them,
Nope.
right?
Nope. It didn't
You
stop
know?
them. And that was probably one of the most joyful parts of that whole
Yeah.
thing too, was watching these kids. So it was my two so Andrew's two kids, and then it was my sister's four. She's got the son whose wife passed away. They had the twins,
Right.
and then her other son has two
Right.
little boys as
Yeah.
well. So it was watching the six of them tear around, and it was just so much fun. And they enjoyed each other so much. And they don't see there. It's not like we get together for Sunday dinner. You know what I mean? We can't do that across provinces. So for them to all have that time to play together was just stunning. And here's the other little, I don't remember if I told you this. I think I might have, but on the leg back home, Andrea's partner.
Are you going to tell me the hot cowboy?
Oh, I am. Yeah. I told you that already. Well, I'll tell our listeners.
I want to hear, tell it,
because it's so good.
It's really good.
We had, on the way there, Levi was there. So it was, Levi and Andrea kind of looking after the two kids, and I'm there for backup, right? But on the way home, Levi went early. And so it was me and Andrea and the two kids, and we had a layover in Calgary, which we didn't have on the way out. So arguably we did way more work than Levi had to.
There you go. See?
But we were compensated by the universe in Calgary because a very, very lovely man was in the seat next to Andrea. She was sitting in the row ahead of me, and I was sitting with my grandson in the row behind them. So she had the baby on her lap, and then this hot cowboy sits down beside her, and like right beside her, because that's where their seats were.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, this took a turn. This is fun.
It says the romance writer in you.
It says that I'm like, someone needs to. Oh wait, I think I have. But the part that was so adorable was that Junie, my 17-month-old granddaughter, who was with Andrea in that seat, she's just learning to walk, and so keeping a kid like that confined on the plane is really, really challenging. Yeah. So she was good though. Like, she wasn't crying, she wasn't unhappy. Yeah. She was comfortable enough, but she really liked him. And he really liked her. So he's making faces at her, and he's talking to her, and they're having conversation. And I'm like, oh, you need to further describe this cowboy and what he was dressed like and how I don't know how tall he was because I was sitting, but I'm going to say tall because those were a set of long legs encased in a nice pair of jeans with boots underneath them and a shirt with the sleeves cut off. And so the muscles are showing, and he didn't wear a cowboy hat; he wore a baseball hat. But his face was entirely pleasing.
Even better, right? Yeah. Like that baseball cap.
Yeah,
with wranglers, even better.
Totally. Yeah. So and he was funny, and he was just so awesome. So Junie's had her first crush, I think, or maybe he had a crush on her. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, it sounds like it might have been mutual.
I think it was mutual.
Which again is like it's a lovely segue, but also like what a nice way to end what was a difficult time.
Oh yeah. Right? Well, and nobody likes flying. Nobody likes flying in coach stuck at the back of the plane. Yeah. But like there's ways to make it easy and there's ways to make it hard. And here's somebody who was seated next to a young mom with two small kids and her own mom, right? And he could have been really unhappy about it. He could have been really pissy about it. But he and all the people around, and there was a little kid in the row next to us too. And so I was sort of doing the same thing, trying to, help that kid stay happy and whatever.
Except but you didn't have tight jeans and a cut off shirt on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and there was a couple of other younger boys. I call them boys because they were probably in their early 20s, but they were also extremely pretty, and they were speaking Spanish, and they looked like they might be Spanish or Italian. And I'm like, these are FIFA players. These are FIFA players. We're next to like celebrities here. And I have no idea. That's just what I made up in my head. Right. They definitely looked athletic though. Right. And they were also making
faces. They could have been though, because they could have gone to the Stampede if they were playing over, right?
So we had these
and they made faces.
People.
That's good. Right.
Yeah. And they were, and I assume they spoke English, but I don't know that because I didn't hear them speaking English. So they were kind of shyly waving at Junie and stuff. So it was. So we saw the best of people there, which was just delightful.
Yeah, no, that's really good because that is even short hauls. It's crowded. Yeah, it seems like wish in the plane seats. It's a whole thing.
I had Abel next to me, and he fell asleep on that leg, and I'm watching his little head like conked over the sideways. So I've got my arm out to kind of hold him in place, and then I realized, now I can't move. Now I'm stuck here for an hour. It was only an hour flight, but I'm like, he slept the whole way.
Up like that for an hour?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of braced it, and then I kind of move it and shift him, and at one point his head went clonk the other way. So.
Yeah. That's like when it's you and you're on there and you go,
Oh, it's just the worst. I just, yeah.
And it's also, at that point, it's like, oh God, who heard me?
I know. So I think some people might have been laughing a little bit at me sitting there with him, but
I'm sure.
I think it was all lovely. See? Hot again.
What? See?
Yes.
Okay, so we're, I don't know how many minutes in because I forgot to time it, but we haven't even talked about what we're drinking.
No, we haven't.
We're all off our pace, man. I'm drinking, it's called Brilla Prosecco, and it's a rosé, and it's lovely, but it's because I only have 2 bottles of our good Stoneboat Bubbleboats left, and I'm hoarding them because I won't get, I think the new shipment's coming up. I'll order it this weekend, so it won't be here for 10 days. So I have to hoard. I have to hoard the ones.
Well, I think I'm doing pretty good, but I've got mine. So this is Stoneboat Bubbleboat Brut, which I love. And I'm just excited because I've got my membership going there and they're going to send me wine, and I have a wine fridge to put it in. It's sitting next to my piano, which is not exactly where you put a wine fridge, but you know.
But you don't really notice that until you point it out. So here, and then we get to go into this. I got to visit you in your new house this week.
Yes, you did.
Right?
Yes,
it was, and it's beautiful. And we sat out back, and I was, feeling quite comfortable and safe until Ray told me he's seen like 6 it might be the same bear 6 times, but there have been 6 bear sightings, right, or something since he's been there. And it's like, I think I'm going to look up on that hillside a little closer now.
Not in the backyard though. We haven't seen him in the backyard. Right, we've definitely seen him in the front of the street, and they tend to come out more on garbage day and if somebody's barbecuing. Right. So no
barbecue. Although we barbecued pizza that was really good.
We did pizza. Did
we take pictures of that?
Nope, not a one.
Didn't we?
No,
nope. Sure.
No, but I don't think I did. Yeah, I know.
I might have because I have.
Yeah, no, we've just been off our game.
Yeah, we have. We've definitely been off our game.
Yeah. I'm still getting over moving. I think I'm settled in the house. I feel so.
No, I got one picture. I will send it to you up the margarita. So we'll put that up because.
Well, hello.
Hello,
handsome dude. Oh yes, just handsome dudes everywhere. Yeah. Okay.
But yes, anyway, your house is beautiful, and it does, and I think we'll have to show some of the pictures Ray took from up high of me.
He got
fire pit and all that. But it's like they have these doors, you guys, that they just open like magic, and all of a sudden it's like you're inside, but you're outside. And at the end of the night, we're closing up, and Ray's closing the doors. And I said, like, do you ever leave these open? And he's like, bears, raccoons, birds. Yeah.
Because did you have a raccoon trying to get into next door?
Oh yeah. We're very friendly across the fence, and they bring treats to the dogs. So we tend to see each other a lot. The dogs run out barking, and then they come out and feed them treats. So I'm like, there's a positive reinforcement going on here. I'm not sure I like, but everyone's friendly, so that's the main thing.
That's really good.
And she said, there's a raccoon wandering around, and in hot weather. Do you mind? In hot weather, they keep their door open for their business at the bottom there. And she said, you might want to make sure all those doors in your back, the window is closed, because the raccoon
like that wall of windows.
The wall of windows. It's like, the raccoon poked his head in here. It looked like he was going to come in. I chased him out, but you might want to just,
Yeah, you might want to just think about that. Oh, and can we tell? And if you're not going to let me tell this, could you tell the story about you have a fan on your street?
Yes, I will tell you the story. So again, the neighbors are just feeding the dogs, and we're just chatting across the fence and whatever. And she says, well, Ray probably told you this because I told him, and he had told me already. But she says, "Did you know you have a fan on the street?" And I went, "What?" Well, first of all, say more. Say it many times. Yeah. I love to hear this. Yeah. But so apparently there's somebody on our street that I don't think I've met her. But she says she went up to my next door neighbor and said, "Is it true that Roxanne Snowbeck moved into the street?" And she said, "Yeah." She's like, "I love her books. I've read all her books. I love them." And I'm like, "What? What are the?" As far as I know, nobody in Canada reads my books. So, besides people I know, nobody and most people that even I know don't read my books. So it's whatever. But like my Canadian audience is pretty small. So one on my street.
That's pretty awesome. I think we should have her as a guest.
I think so too.
That'd be
Yes.
fun.
I know.
We-
I now
It's
want to
really
just,
like, how did you find out? Where did you first find this?
I know.
Because especially when it's one thing if it's like, wow, I've read one of her books, are good. But when you've read them all,
I know. I know. And I'm thinking of all the ways that I could ruin this now by taking a box over to her and saying, hey, I hear you like my books. Would you like some? Would you like me to autograph them all right now? Would you like to be my friend, my best friend? Not my best friend. Would you like to?
damn it, was that a Freudian slip?
No.
Is there a do you have a want ad out? Like, do you have a personal ad up on the internet somewhere, man?
That's right. Do you want to be head of my reader team? Yeah, I could really take this into a
like,
dark place.
But how lovely and certainly complimentary, but also it's probably not as random as you like for the coincidence to be that big where it's the one reader that loves you here, like it's like that's like a little sampling of
I know,
of the people out there. That's pretty cool.
That was a kick. Yeah, that was quite lovely.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so I have something to share.
Do it.
I took a jewelry making class and I made this, and I took pictures, so we'll put it up. But that sort of kind of led me, because like I walked in and I was a bit nervous, and we all know I have creaky hands and there's all this stuff. And I walked in because, and this was really silver, like you were gonna, you had to make the circle and you had to melt things, and you had to use all the grown up stuff, right?
Wow.
And we had a really great, Angie was and she used to be a grade school teacher, so clearly she has patience, but she's a jeweler, right? Like she's an artist. And so, but she's opened the studio and she does all kinds of stuff. But I walked in and it was like, oh, like, what am I doing here? I'm not sure my hands work. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never even thought, like, it was like, I saw it go by and I was like, I'm doing that. And people were I thought everybody would know what they're doing. And some of them did, but my gosh, were they supportive, right?
Wow.
Like, people were helpful and they were kind, and there were a few people there that were really funny. Already I've chatted with a woman, Jacqueline, who has been watching the podcast. So thank you, Jacqueline. And there were a couple of other women that were, honestly, Roxy reminded me of us, because at one point, one of them, they said, oh, we took your other course and we took it with, let's say it's our friend Margie. Must be the Simpsons coming in anyway. But we took it with her friend Margie, and one of the women said, yeah, your other friend. Right? It was like, it was perfectly, like, it was like, so I was like, maybe you shouldn't listen to our podcast. You should be on it. Right? But it was really, but you know what? Really amazing to go in and learn something completely foreign to me, like including getting the little pieces of, I'm going to forget what it's called. So you have to put it on the silver. So you can't tell that something's been put together. What the hell?
Like a bit of solder kind of? Or
solder. Yeah.
Solder?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, oh my God. Like, and the whole thing, and they were using, the kitchen ones, like the creme brulee ones.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So now I feel better, because I was always afraid of those, right? And I did creme brulee under the broiler. I could do better creme brulee now that I've handled one of those.
Oh, I bet you can. The broiler scares me way more than one of those things.
But anyway, but the other thing is, of course, I had a bladder infection that day, right? So I went to the bathroom a lot. And I swear to God, because, you sort of said, why, what part of you is creative and what kind of brought you there? And so I was talking about the podcast and all that stuff. And of course, I've got a tattoo sleeve, and I probably looked, a little rough. I'm not sure why, from, like it wasn't as polished as some of the women there. And then I keep going to the bathroom. I'm sure they thought I was doing cocaine. At one point I was like, I should announce I have a bladder. It was all women. I should have just said bladder infection, right?
Everyone would understand. Yeah.
That's just it. But the other side of it was, I'm like, I afterwards I was like, oh my God, what did they think of me when I kept going to the bathroom? But yes. So So, and you've been learning new things too, I hear.
I have been learning new things. Well, okay, so I'm going to preface this right now with my husband learning new things, because I have a feeling he's remodeling some cabinetry downstairs right now. A little concerned because wait,
I have to stop you. I have a Ray story about things.
Okay.
So we had a door that, when they moved out, it messed us up in our last house in Creekside.
Okay.
And I had to take it to the dump, and I was going to put it in and let it lean out the back, like the back window, and put the back window up in the Jeep. And Ray was like, no. And all of a sudden he gets out this freaking chainsaw and he like cuts the door in half. And it was like, he's pretty comfortable with the chainsaw, I got to say.
He's actually pretty good with tools. He's actually, he's got some skills there.
Yeah.
He used them not in not in either of the last two houses, but in our first standalone house together. He did a bunch of finished carpentry there. I don't know how he had the time, but he hasn't really done a whole lot since then. And so, we bought this wine fridge that we know we want to put into the kitchen eventually when we redo the cabinetry, because the cabinetry is in really rough shape. And so it's a when, not an if. And this was a really good sale, so we jumped on it. So we have some appliances sitting around that aren't going to go in until we make this decision. This is classic for us. But anyway, so he took a nap yesterday, and he got up and he comes to me and he's like, "You won't believe what I thought of." And I'm like, "Oh dear. Okay, what does this mean?" And he's like, because it's the wine fridge is one of these ones that it's integrated. You put it under the cabinetry and use the
like a built-in kind of,
like a built-in thing. Yeah. So looking great. It doesn't look great sitting next to the piano. Not really where it belongs. Anyway, he says, "I could just
okay." Just for a record, to be fair, you walk in and you look at these big ceilings and that wall of freaking like of glass, right, that can open. You don't notice where the wine. Nope. All you is like, "Oh, they have wine."
I know.
Oh my God, look at the house.
Well,
right? You don't notice it, but you keep telling people.
Well, yeah, you don't, and this is why we bought it. Like, we bought it for the beauty of that backyard and the window wall that opens out onto it. And we didn't ignore it. We knew it's there, but we're like, these are bones that we can't replicate. We can fix this other stuff, and the other stuff, some of it is pretty bad.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you, Ray. So you're
okay. So to back load this story just a little bit. Of course, the week after we get in, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after we move in, our fridge dies. I think I mentioned that on the last one. So I'm suffering through the first.
But we don't know that because we don't remember what we said in the last one.
Well, that's true enough. So I'm like, he went off on his golf thing, and I'm like, why does my fridge smell funny? This yogurt does not taste right. I think I'm not going to eat this. And I'm like, the fridge is not working. It's beeping. It's making this, lights are flashing. Anyway. Long story short, it's probably fixable, but not in a timely manner and not necessarily by us.
Right.
But also maybe by us. So we moved it downstairs and we bought a new fridge. But then we get it, we buy it, we decide which one we want, measures it, and I'm home by that time, and he sends me a text. He's like, "Can you measure the opening in our cabinetry?" And I measured it, and he's like, "Dang, it's an inch too short for this fridge that we just bought." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So he came home and he undid the box from the cabinetry, and I stood underneath with my arms up like this, holding it, while he drilled it into place 2 inches higher so we could fit the fridge in. So already our cabinets are. That's also when we discovered really how cheaply they've been made, and how ready they are to fall apart. But whatever, like however long it takes us to remodel a kitchen, doesn't matter.
Right.
There, the fridge fits in. So now he's got courage, right? He's like, "Oh, I've already moved one box. So I have a feeling when I go downstairs, I'm going to see he's removed a box and he has installed our wine fridge." And I said, "You know what's going to happen here? This is going to accelerate the kitchen renovation, because I can just imagine
he's going to
countertop breaking or something that you can't live with for very long." So anyway, we shall see. We shall see. Stay tuned. I will let you know.
Yeah, but that's just it. And he's good at it. Like, he even talked, because we had an issue with our dryer that, they have to get the part, and it's probably going to be freaking 3 months because it's a really high, like in my experience in my entire life, high-end stuff is a pain in the neck when it breaks.
Yeah.
And it might not, for many, it doesn't break, but if you get the one that does, right? Like, we had a Mealy fridge, right, that went here. It doesn't transfer, right? The warranty doesn't transfer if it's not with the house. It's with the person that bought it.
That is ridiculous.
Right? Yeah. So, but you know what I mean? Like, I was saying to Paul, I don't trust the high-end people because there's loopholes all over the place, right? Yeah. It's a little bit crazy. So in about 2 minutes, I'm going to have to go do sourdough, which I said, and I don't know why I'm getting crazy beeps. Like, maybe anyway, it might just be me, or it might, I don't know. But I think I told you, I'm doing sourdough cinnamon buns, sourdough discard cinnamon buns. So
sourdough discard cinnamon buns. Oh, I'm very interested in that.
Although then they told me, well, you really should have active sourdough, but it was like, yeah, okay. So I put a little bit of yeast in.
You know what? Those things
Yeah.
work. And that's the key, I think, in making sourdough, is just to realize it's alive, it's flexible, and you don't have to be hidebound by the rules. You have to know there's a few basic things you need to know.
Yeah.
But after that, and adding a little bit of yeast, okay, so it's not pure sourdough then, whatever. Is the sourdough police going to come and get you, you know?
Oh, they might. I don't know.
They might. I know.
Why is it yelling at me? But anyway, we're going to come back to, because sourdough's like the something new, and we're going to talk about the something new. So we're going to come back and talk about sourdough being less scary this time around. Okay.
Good. Okay.
So this time around, and it kind of started, and a big shout out to my sister Beverly, who said, for my niece's birthday, I didn't know what to get her. And she was like, well, she wants to do sourdough. So I got her some starter, right? And now it's become this kind of thing, and I'm back into it. And when I first started doing it, and you kind of coached me, because, I didn't know anything, and my friend Steven coached me, it was like, this is too complicated. It's ridiculous. I can't do it. So trying something new, you can like intimidate yourself out of it, right? And I might be at that stage about the jewelry thing at this moment, because working with silver is hard, but I'm kind of fascinated by it. So I'm going to take another course to just kind of see, because I think it's like so many things. Once you get to a certain point, it's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's and there's, I mean, the more I read about, aging well and all that, we hear so much about do something new, practice.
Yeah.
Try something that you haven't done before. Get your, they always say, learn a new language or try a new sport or learn an instrument or something.
Yeah.
And it's because of that, right? It's because well, and you and I have discussed this about even just moving, right? Moving house.
Yeah. Here,
you're now in you have to learn new routes to the grocery store. Which grocery store? Where are you going to do this? Where are you going to do that? It's lots of learning.
Where aren't you going to run into a bear in your neighborhood?
Yeah, that, yes. Yeah, so it's
which is kind of cool. I do have to say, like, when I was driving out, because when I stayed, I left early to get the first ferry out. But it was like I was driving and I was like, "Where's the bear?"
I'm kind of surprised you didn't see one at that time of day. Yeah, because
I'm kind of
middle of the night, as you get up,
Sure.
that's when they're active.
Okay, wait, I have to interrupt. See this? Shark Week is coming up, and it will start on the Sunday after this airs. So that's why I've moved. I mean, I love this pillow, and he sits in my little corner, but it's like Shark Week, just a reminder.
Shark Week. Yeah, you love Shark. I've never watched Shark Week, but I don't have the TV on a whole lot during the day, but I think maybe I should, because I would enjoy that.
Yeah, no, it is. And some of them now, like there's Discovery, and I think National Geographic is now in this Shark Week war, except I think it's Discovery that does regular, typical, traditional Shark Week. They were the first. National Geographic is like, okay, well then July Shark Month, right? Anyway, I just watched one, and it was on the making of Jaws, right? And it was really cool, because they had all these like consultants that were real shark people, and then there was a whole big thing after Jaws. People were like hunting sharks, and then they started like conservation around them and stuff, and it made me think, like, I want to, because we have that screen, I want to like show Jaws in the backyard when we have guests, right? That would be fun. But it was like it was, and I've seen this before, but there were new things every time you see it, right?
Yeah.
And so and they're doing these new cool things, like there's new content about sharks, and we're learning more, and there's, the more there's conservation, the more we learn, and there's, it's just one of those things where it's like, I think Shark Week is a really good thing, because we're all fascinated by shark attacks, let's face it. But almost like they're doing it, and not a scientist, could never have been a shark, scientist ever, an ocean, like I couldn't have, because I can't scuba dive, because they put that mask on you, and I'm good. And then they're like, you have to give it to the other person in case and it's like, nope, I'm not giving it to I'm sorry, if I'm way under the ocean, I'm not taking this off my face, right? But like, there's all these really cool things and these people doing stuff, and Shark Week is like updating it. They have some funny ones and stuff, but every time it's like the water was muddy, the day was overcast, right? There's all these things happening. You're by a like an estuary where it's kind of briny water, so that's kind of salt water, kind of fresh, and it's all these things, and it's like every time it comes on, it's like, well, look at the weather. Why'd you go in the water? And now I think I'm an expert because I've watched 10 years of Shark Week.
Yes. I have a shark story for you. This is a good one. You'll love this. And it's very small. but this was shared at Kendra's memorial. So so all credit goes to Kendra Jones. This is the kind of sense of humor she had and the things she posted. She's like, this was an Instagram or Facebook post that she made probably in the last year of her life. She's like, if you watch Jaws backwards, it's really a love story about a shark that gives arms and legs to people who need them.
Right? See, but that's exactly right. That's you have to see it with the right attitude.
Totally,
right?
totally. Oh,
absolutely.
That one just cracked me up.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the stuff you're learning, because I think it's a little bit less fun than sourdough and jewelry making.
Well, I think I'm going to be relearning sourdough because I didn't kill mine. My fridge killed mine. It was like sourdough will live through a lot. It's not hard to, then I don't baby mine. I was never one to like feed it every 3 days. I'm like, no, you can go dormant and I'll take you out after 3 months and make bread again. And it was all fine. But a fridge, not at the right temperature. Yeah. I opened the lid and I'm like, oh, that's not food anymore. I don't know what that smell is, but that is not, and it wasn't even nail polish. It was something else. I don't know. What
and so it wasn't like hooch. It was something way worse.
Oh, it was not hooch. It was rotten. So anyway, that was sad. But you brought me starter, so I'm going to.
And this is surprisingly active. Like, so I bought it from somebody here because I wasn't going to take a week and make it when Acadia's birthday was coming up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference is. So from the starter I bought, I made one for my sister and Beverly, and I made one for Acadia. And Bev and it bubbles up and it raises a bit. Acadia's is like raising like it's the same freaking thing, and we all did it at the same. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Right?
It's weird. It's weird.
Like, is it the environment, like hotter, warmer, like
for
you
sure.
know what I mean? Is it that kind of thing? Is it the type of flour? Like, because I used AP flour, right? All purpose. So did everybody else, but it was like, maybe it's a different brand of flour. Like, I was in my head, I was like, that was interesting to see, because she was like, is it supposed to bubble over? And it was like, it's pretty active.
You tend to get a feel, like you feel, is it the right, because I don't really measure hydration that carefully, but I know what it feels like when it's too loose or when it needs a bit more flour. And that's something you figure that out with.
Right.
Because
we're all measuring and stuff like, but it is
exactly. But sourdough, yeah. So there's that one. I'm right now helping my friend Leanne, who watches us all the time. She's part of our community.
Yes.
And I am serving as publisher for her for a book that she's just released. It was released with the publisher, and then things changed and the contract got canceled, so she now has the rights back and she can release them herself.
Good
so
for
I
her.
said, but she doesn't want to be a self-publisher, and I've published independently before, and so I kind of know the ropes. But it's one of those things where if you do it a lot, it's super easy. You know all of the steps to go through, and there's formatting it this way, and then there's getting it onto Kindle, and then there's getting it onto Barnes and Noble, and then there's getting it in print if you want that, and there's making it. So she made the covers, and they are beautiful, and that's a big one. And then I did all the rest, but I'm like, oh, this is exercising parts of my brain that really, really like this kind of exercise.
Yeah.
So we'll see how if we can get that book out to a good audience, that would be.
And we'll put up the link for the book, and so describe some of Leanne's what she does, because
Leanne writes. I think I actually wrote her bio for her, the most recent one, and it's like she writes smoking hot romantic fantasy with badass heroines and alpha male heroes, and she's a love is love person. She believes. Pleasure is not a 4-letter word. Dog is another word for God, and something to that effect. Like her books are so empowering. There's always she writes medieval Celtic magic.
Well, I was going to say like, and that's just it. And so it's funny because I bought one of her books because she was like, because I've come to know her through you and through the podcast, and it's like, because I said, I'm not reading any book, doesn't have a cell phone in it. And she's like, it's okay. Right. And I was like, oh, no, I'm reading them. I want to read them and stuff. And that's just it. Like, she tells it in a way that takes you into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you suspend your disbelief, right?
She is a world builder par excellence. I just like how she keeps track of the number of stories in her head and the story lines. Like I'm running as fast as I can to edit, because that's how we met, was I was editing for her for this other publishing house. And I'm like, you need a bigger audience. I think something's missing here. So anyway,
a big
so
marketed, right? Like to the right team.
Yeah.
To the right community. It's got it, right?
So
But having said that, I do want to say Leanne, though, is one of those people, like, because she's quite active and she comments on Facebook and on her posts and everything. She's really great. But for someone who has such complex inner world, and they're all like layered in her brain, she's very sort of, she writes and you understand what she's saying. Like there's a magic to whatever she does, because sometimes I look and it's like, okay, so here's one of the stories she does, and I read the synopsis or something, and it's like, okay, my brain's exploding, but you explained it right. Like, but all of a sudden in my brain, everything's complicated, because it's like, but what about this, or what? Because I want to know, right? But she somehow she takes complexity and she makes it digestible, consumable, right?
Yeah. Her stories are remarkable. And I think one of the first projects I edited for her was a series, I think it's now called Witches of the Mystical Stones.
Right.
And okay, here's the premise of it. It's a young witch / healer who has 3 friends. One is a harlot, one is a castle maid, and one is, can't remember the other one. And they get cursed under some standing stones to trade souls for a season. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Like, I'm going to be in my body, but I'm going to have your brain coming out of my body, right?
Right.
So think of this from an editing point of view, though. I now have someone speaking,
my head hurt, man.
Speaking from a body, but the voice coming out belongs to someone else, and I have to convey that. We have to convey that to the reader, so they understand that it's a body with brown hair, but actually the voice coming out is the blonde-haired one, and so the voices have to be. So I'm like, what kind of brain am I dealing with here? This is insane.
That's awesome, though.
I think we made it work. Like, it's a really cool series. So anyway, so I'm doing that, and then today we had a meeting with a contractor, because so the house that we bought had, like, I love it. We both love it. We fell in love with the backyard and the window wall, blah blah, whatever. It has some issues that we knew about going in, and one of them is that the bathroom upstairs, the ensuite shower, has been leaking. It had been leaking for a long time by the time our inspectors saw it and said, "Ooh, we got wet wood down here." So they dried it out before we bought it and all that, so we can use it. But I know there's damage there. So we want to redo the bathroom before it gets any worse, or at least open it up and see what's happening. So we've got contractors coming in the house. And this one contractor has this, we've had an hour-long Zoom meeting with him. We haven't even hired him yet. This is still in the bidding process. And he's showing us this app for design. And he came in with a camera that basically the camera stands in the middle of the room and looks around and then creates a 3D image of your whole house, your whole room, whatever you're looking for. And so he plugs this in, and I'm kind of sitting back there, Ray's kind of sitting back there. We're looking at this Zoom, and he's showing it. And all I'm thinking is, oh man, I should have put the good pillows on the bed. Why did I leave the bed such a mess? Now it looks, my closet, what a disaster. So anyway, so he's got this in here, but then he shows us, other parts of, that's the visual part of the app, like, oh, we're going to move the tub here, move the shower here, blah, blah, whatever. And then this is the communication portal. And this is where, if you want to see whether or not something's done, you check this, and it'll say like approved, not approved, comments, add comments. And I'm like, no, I would say comments can be added. Right. Can I add comments? Probably not.
Right.
I mean, he's telling us this is really easy to use, and it probably is. It looks so powerful, but I'm like, oh God, another thing to learn. What is it with the learning?
But the challenge is, like, once you know, like for him, it's like you breeze through it, right? And I actually did presentation training for a client, which is how I very fortunately got to come and stay with you. But it was like, once it's like, what presentations have to tell a story? They're sort of presentation standards, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I assume everybody knows. They don't know. It's not their job to know. like lots of people, it's their subject matter experts and they have to do a presentation. They're not presenting experts that pull a topic, right? And so, but it's like all of a sudden you become a bit familiar, like I've just done with sourdough, and it's like, oh, this isn't so hard. But at the first you walk in and it's like, what?
Do you not find that, oh, my voice is, I'm losing it. Do you not find though that it is, I know I do this, and I think other people do this too. You make kind of an assumption, which then it then breaks off into other things. So I assume if I know something that it's really easy to know and everyone must know it. Like, really?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Like, how hard is this? I've learned it, so everyone must know it, right? And A, that's wrong, because we all have our areas of expertise or things that we're interested in and we learn about. But the other thing that does is it discounts the expertise that we have, right?
I promise you, and I've read a lot of books in my time, and listening to you talk about editing and writing your books and the layers of narrative that come out of that was like, because I absolutely have always respected, fiction and nonfiction writers. But the other side to that was, especially when, I'm assuming like with Leanne's books, your books have complex characters, and you know what I mean? Complicated storylines, and not that they're not a beautiful narrative, but you don't let people skate. You know what I mean? There are social justice, and there are underlying themes there about equal. Like there's just stuff, and it's like I'd hear you talk about it, and it's like, holy hell! For as much respect, and I mean, I'm like, I bow down to authors. It's like I had no freaking idea how complicated it is.
Well, right? then you walked with me for a year and a half with our dogs, listening to me moan about plot problems and how horrible it is to write books and all that. So you've seen all sides.
I have, but the flip side is like to watch the process of somebody working out the storyline, because a book is not just one. It's not like a half hour or hour drama, right? Where there's one real storyline and the rest are just little, like a book is like there are these layers of storylines, and they flow with importance depending where, because then all of a sudden they all come together to make sense about why you were introduced to that character in their life, right? And it's just kind of like, as much as I thought I'd read enough and taken enough courses and workshops I could deconstruct, it's like all of a sudden it's like I know nothing. I bow to it. But also this, if you talk about it, would be like, well, when you get here, and I'm like, what you get what words?
And everything got really quiet downstairs, and now I'm concerned.
Worried? I have to go do sourdough. Do you want to go check him?
I'll just do a proof of life.
Okay, go do it, and I'll go.
Yeah, he's checked out on the back deck, sitting there with his feet up. So I just took a quick glance into the kitchen. I can't see what he did, so I'm gonna have to ask. Definitely there was a lot of drilling and whatnot, so.
Well, if you can see it, well, that's a good thing. So I was thinking I was surprised about how intimidated I felt in there, and not because anybody did anything to intimidate me, but it was like, I know nothing here, right? And
at the jewelry making class?
The jewelry making
okay.
class. And it was like, you hit a certain age and it might not be good at it, but the thing, like I didn't know what was going to happen next. And that wasn't, Angie was great as a workshop leader and a teacher, but it was more like, we're going to have to do what? Right. And so it was like, I was a bit intimidated. I was a bit frustrated by not being good at it.
Right.
Which again, we tend to do things we're good at, right? Yeah. You lead towards, that kind of thing. And finally, when it sort of like, for me, it was like, certainly because I do have issues with my hands, it was like, oh my God, I'm old. My hands don't work right. Right. Mm-hmm. They work better than I thought they would. Right. But it was like one of those things. And then it was kind of like, finally it clicked, and it was like, nobody here is bothered. The only thing they're bothered about is like thinking I'm doing cocaine in the bathroom. Like, not bothered about that I'm the slowest one in the room. Right. And it was like one of those where it's like, wow, we judge ourselves harshly when we do new things.
We really, really do. Yeah, we really do. And so were you you were a good student when you were a kid in school, right? Yeah, you were a good student. I was a rule follower. You're a rule follower. Yep.
Right? Like I was all the things, right? I wanted to,
Yep.
even now, if like I'm crossing at a crosswalk and somebody pulls up to it, I go faster so that they won't be inconvenienced. Right? Like I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah, yeah. And you're a high achiever, right? So those kinds of things, because
Some might say I'm an overachiever and some might say I'm an underachiever. And it depends who thinks I'm smart or who thinks I'm just wily.
because I was thinking as you were talking, I was trying to think because I love learning new things, and I am a inveterate class taker. If there's a webinar or a class or something, I love it. That used to be my most exciting thing, is waiting for the community college pamphlets to come out, and I'd be like, ooh, I think I'm going to study reflexology, or maybe something.
Right? There's so many
sandals. Exactly. There's so many.
But when you could do it online, and COVID kind of did this to us. You do it online, you're a bit anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and it's not hands-on. Like you would take, it's like, well, I'm going to study this, or I'm going to do this, or, and then you go off and do it. And now it's like, you're in a room with people and they're all like out hammering their steel. And I'm like, it's not going together. Right? Like, but it is it's interesting to put yourself out there. We've talked about this before about if you like to paint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be good. Right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me to think from painting and doing the things that I really suck at, but I don't expect to get anything out of that. Out of this, I wanted a necklace.
Right.
So I just wonder, what is it? Is it the end expectation? It's like, what do you want at the end of it? Because honestly, I was ready. She was like, no, we can do this. Here, try it this way. Right. And I was just be like, I'm okay with something that's not perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no. Like, let's just keep trying it. Because I was like, I don't care if it's got a gap. And she was patient and good, but was it my impatience, or was it because, I like weird things?
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
Oh God, we just went really deep into the psychology of me.
Well, I was like, your discomfort is interesting to me, because I think that means that you found something, that the gap between what you know and what you want is there.
Yeah.
And I was, because I'm kind of the same way. Like, I've done lots of classes. I love to learn. I'm a good student, right?
Yeah.
Like compliant, and I pay attention and all that stuff. But I tend to go for things that I'm pretty sure I'll already be good at. And so I was like, well, I don't know what that feels like. I don't walk into a classroom and feel intimidated or whatever. I feel excited. And then I thought, what about if somebody asked you to play a game of tennis?
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's where it all falls apart for me, because like, I'm fit enough and all that. That's fine. But I've never been sportsy. And so to play, and it's mostly about
and to know the rules, and
I don't know any of the rules of any of the games. I don't know any of the rules of any of the games, so I can't really watch sports very knowledgeably. I can't play them, so that's when I get intimidated, and that's when I feel bad about myself, because I'm
when you're out of your comfort zone, right?
Absolutely out of my comfort zone. So we've all got those spaces. Yeah. So what does that mean? I need to push myself and take a class in some sport? That is not happening.
But you would do jewelry making.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like
absolutely.
You would do, like, and that's just it. Like, that was enough out of my comfort zone, even though I've made like beads and things like that. Like, this is like using silver. But like when you were talking about it, I was thinking in my head, it was like, so we have an expectation we're going to be good at something immediately, which makes no sense. But also, when kids are trying something new, they're like, watch me.
Oh my goodness.
And in my own head, I'm like, please don't look at me.
Yeah. There is nothing like watching small kids learn things to make you feel better about learning things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they just go in and do it, and they just do it. And you're right. They're so proud. Look at what I did,
Yeah. And even if it's terrible, like, because the concept of, well, that's not good enough has not occurred to them. Yeah. Right. It's like, it doesn't matter what it looks like. I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's it. And I think there's something in there about, like, there is a freedom, and maybe I'll get there. I was not there then. And again, no shade on anybody there. That was why I was putting it on myself. But it's like it doesn't, the freedom from saying, I'm not going to be a perfectionist. I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Is kind of, it's an interesting thing, but it's like, I think I have a game called Would You Rather. Do you want to play the game?
Oh,
Roxanne?
yes, I want to play it.
New things. Yes.
I want to play it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But it is, and I hope all of you out there will kind of play along and write it down and tell us what you're saying. So here's we're gonna each answer them and we're gonna explain why. Okay, would you rather learn Italian or play the guitar?
I would rather learn Italian because I've tried guitar. It is freaking hard on the fingers.
We're not talking about what you've tried or not. What would you rate if you didn't have that?
I have a real fondness for languages.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's good.
You?
That's good. Because my first answer was I'd rather learn Italian. And then I asked myself why. And it was like, because I mean, I can remember, and I think my friend Lindia watches the podcast sometimes, is like I hung around a bunch of musicians, especially when I first moved here. Mm-hmm. And at one point I had like a little egg, which is like the little tiny version of a tambourine, and I was shaking it. And she came off the stage and she was funny. Like she was funny, but she was like, give me that. Because apparently I was like doing it off beat.
Oh,
right. So I would love to look like, I wish I had any kind of musical like ability at all. Like I love the guitar. Right. I would like to learn to play it. But it's funny. My first response was Italian. And I was like, you're not telling the truth. Right. But like there is I mean, now I have arthritis in my hands and it would probably be too hard to do. But the other side is, as much as I love music, I have no musical ability. Like I have none. And at some point with music,
hard to believe, but
with some point with music, you have to have a little talent because at some point you have to go public with it. Right?
Well, I don't know about that. Like I've been in some form of piano lessons most of my life, and I will never go public with it. I will tell you that right now. But
I've heard you play.
No, well, I'm sorry for you, but
no, it was. But in fact, you're good. Right?
Well,
you're just not as good as you want to be.
No, sure, but what I like is the mental challenge, and I like the fact that there is math involved, but it's hiding itself.
Right.
It's hidden math, and that's my favorite kind of math. But so I'll tell you one of the first one of my best stages when I was doing piano lessons, we were doing actual like theory, we're doing like scales and arpeggios and all that stuff. And when you're doing there's finger work involved, right? And I said to my teacher, who was a friend of mine, and I said, my fingers don't go that way. Like I don't know what you think you're doing here, but like this and this, and they don't actually bend that direction. What do you think is happening here? And she's like, just keep trying, keep practicing. They will go there. Don't you know? They went there. They don't go there great. They don't go there willingly, but absolutely.
But you can train it.
Exactly, you can train that. And I watched her fingers, and she could bend at will. That last digit, like that, keep her finger straight, turn that, so that she could hit those keys just perfectly.
That's amazing.
Stunning. But the human body, you can make yourself learn those things if you want to. So anyway, go on to the next one.
True. Okay, the next one, pottery. Okay, and pottery or painting?
Oh, pottery. Well, and that's because I've done painting and I love it, but I've never had a chance to do pottery, and I would love to try that.
Yeah. You? I was a bit torn for both, but I have paint, so I'm going to say painting because I want to say that in my head, so I actually use the paints I bought. Kayaking or sailing?
No. Can I pick neither? No, I would actually I've never gone sailing. I don't know anything about sailing. And I would like to be able to use the word jib in a sentence correctly. So.
Oh, sailing's good. And part of that for me is because most sailboats have a little kitchen and I can serve wine and cheese and stuff. And the other side is I have sailed with my friend Moppy, and he tried to kill us, so I won't let him take you out. But it's like sailing, and also kayaking hurts my back, and also you got to get in. It feels claustrophobic.
Kayaking is kind of uncomfortable. Yeah. Did I tell you about the trip that we did with our staff once long ago? We went whitewater rafting.
Oh God,
this is not
crazy.
Yeah. But it was a summer event for our staff, so it was like bring your spouses. We're going to go up, and they drove us up to hell and gone beyond some mountain in BC here, obviously. And we got up there, and the guy's telling us, well, this is like a 5 out of whatever. I think 5. I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know who booked it. It wasn't, I had nothing to do with booking it, but it was supposed to be like a moderate run that any of us could do.
Right.
And so we get into this big giant, inflatable thing, right? And we're going down, and there's kayakers on the side, which is what made me think of it. Yeah. And they're there to watch out for us and pull anybody out of the drink that goes in. And we're like, no. And they're, so we get up, we're at the top of this thing. You got to all get into your, SEAL wetsuits things. And he's telling us about, got to sign this waiver and that waiver and hope you have life insurance. Well, it doesn't matter because this will nullify it anyway. Oh, and I'm like, we have 3 small children at home. I can't. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? And don't you know, one of our staff gets dumped out into the water, and it's like, we're going over this stuff. I don't know where my paddle went. I just stopped. He's like, paddle harder. And he's got this accent, and he's like, here comes the mother-in-law of death. Paddle harder. And I'm like, the mother-in-law of death? I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on for real life here. And so one of our staff members falls out, and they pull her out, and she's like, makes it to the edge of the river. Yeah. And she's like, yep, I'm not getting back in. I'm done. And so we had to kind of like figure out what to do. We made it to the end, and everyone survived. But that was, after that, I'm like, okay, check that one off. We're never doing that again. That was crazy.
No. Okay, just for the record, I don't want to learn that.
Nope.
That's like when some of my more adventurous friends are like, it's like, no, you know what? You should have got me back then when I bungee jumped, like when I was okay to do yeah. Okay, dance lessons or cooking class?
Oh, that's a tough one because I want to do both. I want to do both of those.
That's interesting. But you got to pick one, man.
I got to pick one. Okay, dancing. Because I really don't know how to dance. I'm a terrible, terrible dancer. Yeah. And that makes me uncomfortable on the dance floor.
But that's good.
Yeah. I actually I went to one swing dancing class once. My kids were into it very heavily for a very short time when they were in high school. And I said to my same friend that taught me piano lessons, I'm like, we need to go with them. Like, let's just do a swing dancing class. Wouldn't that be fun? She came to one with me, and then she ditched me, and I ended up with, I don't know, these young people. They make you go in a line in your path. So it's not like you have to be there with one person, but wow, did I ever suck at it really badly. Yeah. And so I'm like, I could do some lessons. I could learn to be better than I am, because I sure couldn't get worse than I am. How about you? Yeah. I know you don't dance at all.
No, and that's just it. And I don't enjoy it. Right. So it would be like, it's not like, oh, I wish I could. Like, it's like, no, like I have far more fun sitting talking to people.
Yeah.
And also having like bubbles nearby, and also cooking. I can always learn to cook. I mean, there's always stuff to do. Okay. Photography or gardening?
Ooh, I'd probably pick gardening just because I want to learn more.
Right. I do photography, and not that I don't want to learn gardening, but gardens are kind of bossy.
They kind of are. Mine's gone crazy. You saw mine.
Yeah, yours looks awesome. Mine is like, I'm going to have 5,000 zucchinis and a whole bunch of tomatoes, and nothing else seems to have come up. And the rabbits ate my lettuce, and my spinach did early. And I have one pepper plant that has nothing on it, and Scruffy keeps digging up everywhere else. Where I'm not planting seed vegetables again.
Right.
That was I chose poorly.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one's not fair for you. Write a book or paint a mural. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I've already written a book. I would paint a mural.
And you could, because you're freaking talented.
That would be fun. I did that actually in our house. Several houses back when our kids were small, we had this room under the stairs that was nothing. It was not even a utility room. It was just kind of a closet, but it went under the stairs and it was kind of nothing cool, but whatever. So, and all the toys ended up there. So with the kids, I painted like a fences. It all started because there was a box in the corner that was hiding a duct or something, and it was ugly. So I just taped it all up like brickwork. Yeah. And then I sponge painted color in there, like brick color, right? Oh, so then when you take the tape off, it looks like it was all brick in the, and it was, and after that it was like, oh, now I'm going to paint a fence over here, and I'm going to put some cows over here, and I'll paint some clouds, and it was super fun.
That's cool. See, that's really cool, and that's good for a kid. Okay, knit or weld?
Oh, God almighty. Well, I saw Flashdance, so weld.
Okay, I would do knit because I would like to make those really big blankets with the big, the big chunky blankets. I like those.
Yeah, I have half of one of those in my closet, and all the wool to make about 10,000 more. And it does not look
Christmas.
Yeah, I don't think that I think that I like you a lot more than it would indicate if I gave you one of the big chunky knit blankets that I make. They just I
Yeah.
love the idea of them. Apparently
Yeah,
can't
but
make
that's
them.
just it. Well, I bought some and they're not that great, but I really like them, except every time I pull them on us, one of the dogs, like, I get stuck in
Yes.
them, the dogs get stuck in them.
Yes.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. Improv or karaoke.
Oh, improv scares the absolute utter crap out of me. So karaoke. You?
Oh, but you're also good at, well, so both of them scare the crap out of me. I think I'm funnier than I am tonal word. Right.
Musical?
So I might do, yeah, musical. I think I might, although karaoke, I I don't want to do it, but I envy those who are confident that do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
me
and
too.
it doesn't mean you necessarily have to be good. Like we had a really good friend who came out, and honest to God, like, I can sing better than her, and like, cats run screaming from the room if I sing. But it's like, but I was better than her. But she came out, and her and Paul sang karaoke all night. It's when we lived on the Sunshine Coast. They had the best time, and she danced like Elaine in Seinfeld, and it was terrible. But she was so fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And then after that, I have to say, then she went home, and her and her husband had been trying to have a baby, and then the baby showed up. So she said it was because she got to play karaoke and, like, just right. Anyway, but it was interesting, like, watching her, because she knew she wasn't good.
Hmm.
She didn't care, which was really, it was really refreshing.
That it is so
Right.
refreshing. That and that's the best karaoke. Like when
Yeah.
somebody's up there and they're kind of you feel bad for them because you're feeling what they're feeling, you
Right.
know.
Right.
If
Like,
you
you
go up
feel
there and
the
they just hammer it out and it's like, your voice is cracking and all that. I think I fall somewhere in the middle of there. I'm not confident enough, but I'm also not I don't hit
not,
those
not
notes very
right.
well.
But
But this is
but
my
also
range. My range is
but
like
you
right there.
but you also are a good singer, like, and you know how to hold a mic and do all that stuff. And every once in a while, usually when he's away, because the thought only comes when he's away, and I might have had bubbles by myself. It's like, I'm going to get the karaoke machine and just play by myself. And it comes in
Oh,
my head, and about half a glass of bubbles later, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. So, but it's interesting to me that it does bubble up.
that is
Right.
funny.
Right.
That is funny.
Okay. Scuba diver, motorcycle license.
Ooh, I have always wanted to scuba dive. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
You?
Well, I took lessons, and I was trying to get licensed, and I did really well. And the fact is, you do have another mouthpiece on your oxygen tank. And
Mhm.
I did really well, all of it, until it was like, okay, your buddy's in trouble, and you got it. And it was like, no, like,
Yeah, sorry.
I could do it now in the pool,
Right.
but I promise you, if we're under the water, you're
Yeah.
not getting it. Like I could feel in my heart doing it there. And honestly, you're in a freaking pool. You could go to the other end and stand
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Right. But it was like, if I was in open water, and part of me was like, they should always do dives and, like, test in open water.
Yes, they should.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
because it was like, in my head, it was like, I could kill somebody. I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds ridiculous. I'm ever going to be in that position, but you don't freaking know.
Nope, you don't.
Right.
I know. I
So
saw
I would have
somebody.
loved
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
You saw somebody.
No, I watched somebody do their certification.
Oh, yeah.
Their all their training and stuff was happening in the pool where we were staying.
Right.
We were holidaying together, but they were
Right.
staying
Right.
somewhere else, but they were doing their thing at our pool. And I watched them, and that was the one that got me too. I'm like, wait a second, you have to take it off and put it on someone else while you're
Yeah.
under the water?
No.
No, I don't see that. No, I don't see it.
No, and so what it did sort of tell me that, like, even in the pool that I had, and I mean, I'm a good swimmer, right? I was probably swimming before I could walk, right? Because my
Wow.
family, lucky enough to have a family cottage, we were all, and we, like, all growing up, we took lessons, but it was just like, I can't tell you even 50% that I wouldn't panic and not give it to you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh
It
yeah.
was like, and also I have to say, the breathing, that you can hear your own breathing, freaked me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Right,
even
but-
snorkeling, like I love
Yeah.
snorkeling. That's partly why I got the lens replacement on my
Yeah.
eyes so that I could
Right.
see underwater
Yeah.
when I'm
Right.
snorkeling. And now
Yeah.
I've only done it once because thank you, COVID.
Yeah.
But that sound, right? Like
Yeah.
and
It's
even
weird, right?
yeah, and even that like a big wave hits you and water goes down your
Yeah.
snorkel and all that. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's
yeah,
a
Don't
Or you
know.
get even in, and again,
yeah.
it's like, it's not like I haven't opened my eyes in the ocean. It stings for a bit and then you
Sure.
sort it out, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're wearing a mask and you don't expect to, and then all of a sudden you've got what? And it's
Uh-huh.
like your brain does different crap.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I saw Jaws when, I don't know, I was like 14 or 15, and that has never left me. Just
I
saying.
saw it too. It did not have as great an impact on me, apparently. Well, I
I
read the
went,
book, but anyway.
I read the book too. Holy man.
The book
The
had
book,
sex in it. That's why I read it.
okay, there. See, my sister, who has one of her superpowers has always been. I remember the book had just come out, and she was like, "This is going to be a thing," and it was like, really, and it's like because even so Peter eventually knew he had a good book, and it's only because I just saw the Jaws thing. Like Spielberg, when he was taking it all, was like, "Yeah, it's really good," and Spielberg thought every day he was going to get fired. Right, because they were over budget. They're like, why are people going to care about it? Like the whole story behind Spielberg, and he demanded they do it in the open ocean and not in a pool because he wanted like the whole story behind it. But it was like even the book was so compelling, right? Like there are still times I get in the hot tub and you can hear right? Like yeah, but yeah, but I also don't want to. Motorcycles don't interest me either, so that one's kind of like if I had to, I'd scuba dive. If I could get past that, what's probably some kind of phobia or panic, like if there were no there was nobody to judge, or I wasn't going to hurt somebody, I would choose like if there were no there were no holdbacks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's just funny. Bake sourdough or make silver jewelry. I'm making sourdough now. I've made silver jewelry, so I don't have to pick.
You're doing both. You don't have to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do both. I would do a jewelry class.
Yeah.
If I was on the island, I would do it with you.
Well, next
It would
time
be
she's
awesome.
going to do one in the fall. She said it's like a 2-day one, and
Ooh.
it's going to get more deeper into like some of the things like how you wrap the silver and stuff
Okay.
like that. So I'll get the dates and send it because that would be a really good, and it's
That would
just
be
you can
fun.
walk there from here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and here is one that sort of goes back to what we're talking about a bit about scuba diving. So if nobody could judge you, what would you learn? I just wonder how many things we talk ourselves out of because we assume we'd be terrible and somebody would see it.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's important to life really stays interesting when you're willing to be a beginner at things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like I think it's important to keep your brains, but the other side is it's also to be afraid of things. It's okay, but do it anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Feel the fear and
Yeah.
do it anyway. That's a great it's a great life motto, really.
Especially it's not like feel the fear and you're going to jump out of an airplane with no parachute. It's okay to be like, should I go to another jewelry course? Like that was hard.
Yeah.
Like, well then freaking go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you're going to enjoy it, and that's just it. But it'll be interesting if nobody would judge, what's the one, because that's like a secret, that's like a post secret thing where it's like, well, if nobody would judge, maybe I'd try this. Right. But yes. Okay. Well, we've got another happy hour in the books. So that's a good thing.
We do. Yeah.
And so, oh wait, what are you grateful for, Rox?
I will say, the first word that came to mind was family.
Oh, well, I'm grateful I got to spend the night at your house.
I'm grateful for that too.
Oh. No, that
it was short,
a good one.
but it was
It
sweet.
was short, but it was good, and it was very, and Ray took photos, which is pretty good. But yeah, so everybody, you think of what you would do, and please tell us. And also next week in 2 weeks we're going to start that advice thing.
Ooh,
because
that's right.
We announced it and then we weren't around, and so there's a couple of questions out there we're going to do. But thank you to anybody new who's joining us. Thank you for those of you who've been around for putting up with us and not showing up sometimes and all the things. But we really appreciate it. And so what do we want more of, Rox?
We want more happy hours. What do we want less of, Ruth?
We want less bullshit.
Less bullshit.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Okay. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Sounds good. Bye.
Bye. Bye.